last two suitcases here. Final turn at ANZ Stadium. And again, Mumford and Jolly renew hostilities. Kennedy, who's been wonderful, clamps onto Fasolo, and the umpire will do it again.
This is what they do really well, Sydney. Pike's come up to contest. That's that double teaming effort we're talking about on Jolly, just to wear him out. Goods
out of the congestion, kicks it down towards the attacking 50. Ben Reid comes up, gathers the footy, feeds it forward into the path of Johnson. Inadvertently kicked it. Well done by Jetta. Lightning quick, flicked it back. Roberts-Thompson. Matner goes along the line, and Bird. Pike is on for the long ball. Bird spots him, sends it now. Pike is closed down, hands to it, couldn't mark it. Knocked across the line by Thomas. Oof. Bird tried to get it there, but it just simply took too long in flight.
Let's see how Collingwood can play this dangerous game. The risk they have to take. Well done, Clerk. Just manhandle Grundy, monstered him, and then kicks the ball long to a one-on-one. Swan, well played though by Smith. Swan buttering up. Matner and Goldsack. Jim Matner was good. Got it to McVeigh. McVeigh clever enough to Matner. Smith running on. Goldsack pressuring him. Collingwood doing well, but Sydney were up for it. Matner firstly, Smith.
Well played. He's a good, strong body player, Dane Swan, when he's under the ball, but Smith was just good enough, strong enough to hold his position.
Interesting the mindset of Sydney here too. They've got a big lead.
Sure.
I mean, how defensively do they play this final term? It could be a nervous lead at times, and Cloak takes the mark. Well within range.
Well within range here, Travis Cloak. He's battled on pretty manfully against often outnumbered situations, but this is certainly within his range. It'll be back-to-back goals for the Pies if he can nail this one.
He's kicked a couple. Well, they kicked 2 goals with 5 kicks late in that third quarter. He's coming back. It's a good chance. It's a goal. Cloak's kicked 3. Collingwood have kicked 3 in a hurry. And game on. Now that the nervousness now sort of creeps in a little bit for Sydney. The scoreboard's different now, isn't it?
When you've had the game won and all of a sudden the margin is back within the 23 points, there is some little negative things can pop in. The leadership of the Swans, just to make sure that they don't have that sense of panic, becomes really critical in this kind of situation.
Brett, how do you think Sydney play it from here?
Well, they can't go back into their shell. They just can't chip the ball around. They've still got to take this game on. They've still got to kick goals.
Mumford with the run that time. Influenced the outcome there. Knocked it forward. Kennedy with strength again. Back to Mumford. Kicks inside the forward 50. Going to his knees. Morton crawls after the football. Pike knocks it goalward. Picked up by Bolton. Morton taken down. Bolton commits again. Pike fell to the ground. Harry's got it. O'Brien's been wonderful. In trouble holding the footy. Well, he was trying to find a way out, looking for support. He is one Collingwood player who really has taken the game on tonight.
He was unlucky. The ball was clear, and therefore the umpire paid that he'd had prior opportunity.
So here's Morton. Collingwood, 3 goals in their last 9 kicks in this game. No goals in the previous 110. And Morton gives them a reprieve. He hits the post. Now they've got a lockdown again, the Swans. This would be a magnificent victory if the Magpies can pull it out from here.
Well, it really is testing times for the Swans because they won their first final. This is the first time for their season where the game and the result actually matters. Sudden death.
They're 2 goals 6 tonight from set shots, the Swans. Remember, they were 6-0 against the Crows. Cracker was at high. So the umpire off the ball paid that. He did have a good view. So Cracker caresses the ball to half forward. And Richards has been phenomenal, really. The fact that he's been still able to be out there spoils Jolly.
He's been able to compete, which is the most important thing, but plays such a critical role in setting up and providing a release valve out the back of the contest for the Swans.
Jolly wins attack for Solo, to Johnson, to Pendlebury, and then Pendlebury kicks the ball to centre half forward. Good mark, Goldsack. It's a great kick by Pendlebury. It was soft, It gave Goldsack prime position. And Collingwood suddenly have rattled the Swans here.
They have found a bit. The two last goals of the third quarter, all of a sudden, Collingwood have got a bit of energy. They've kicked the ball into their forward line and found some targets.
Well, about 6 minutes ago, playing time-wise, they were 42 points in front. This to make it a 20-point game. It looks good. It's going hard and high. And Collingwood are coming back hard.
Well, just when you think it's safe to put the kettle on, Collingwood comes storming back into this. Their midfield is finding the football. The players they need to get touches are getting touches. And that was a great finish by Goldsack. Went back and nailed it. They can ill afford to miss goals now. There's not much margin for error, but the Magpies are mounting a counter-attack.
Well, Collingwood have just got to continue to play the ball on quickly. They've got back into the game because the fact that it become a bit of keepers off, they're just got to play the ball on quickly, keep attacking their forward 50.
20 points.
And on the other hand, the Swans need to cover the exit areas if Collingwood to win the ball first out of the contest. So keep doing what got them into the situation in front.
Kennedy gave it to Jack. It was crumbed there by Hanbury. Jetta couldn't hang on. Tarrant goes back to Johnson. And he finds Wellingham at left half-back. Suddenly, momentum is wearing black and white. We haven't said that too often tonight. Jared Wellingham from half-back drives it to half-forward. All the numbers there with the Swans. Loose ball at the back. Wonderful tracking back by Cloak. Going to ground, Melcheski gave it to Smith. Grundy, the hand pass, finds O'Keefe. Now, Bird can go, decides to kick immediately. Parker, the sub, is on the ground. I just put it up in front of Jetta. He's running back. Well, he's gone out of range now. Parker goes short. Pike had to stretch. He's outnumbered. Brown off the ground. Kicked it away from the support, though. It's taken by Melcheski. Kicks inside the forward 50. Reid was up. Bolton the crumb. Tarrant a half chance. Crashing in was Parker. Spills to O'Keefe. He gives it to Mumford. Bit of a fumble from Parker. Turns on a thrippity bit. I know it's old. Punched away down there, taken by O'Brien. Well done, Tuvey. O'Brien comes away. Needs to be pinpoint, and he is. Goldsack.
We're trying to get in there, 10, but it was a great call. Parker is on the ground, obviously. Morton is the man off.
Richards did well. Cuts across the front. They just need a goal to take the pressure off, don't they? They've got to find a goal now, Sydney.
They've just got a bit shaky in their forward half all of a sudden, haven't they? Their forwards just a little bit rushed.
And Goods just held his ground brilliantly, and he should take it upon himself to go all the way here. And he does. He's played a magnificent match.
It's like the game against Adelaide. Started in the midfield, got early touches, set the tone for the game. And cometh the moment, cometh the man. Well within his range here, Adam Goods.
So, one of the biggest kicks of his glorious career. Not quite going to make it, but it's a Swan mark. Oh, no, it's play on. Reid not paid. Well, Reid not paid the mark.
The umpire paid the two Swans players, actually. Spoiled each other.
So, a stoppage, and Tarrant belting the ball away. Bouncing. Well done by Bolton. Hanbury, still with Hanbury. Back to Jetta. Back to Smith. He's a left footer, but can he get it far enough and long enough? It's touched on the line.
So you'd like to see that again.
Gee.
Oh, yes.
Gee.
It looked wrong on the angle we've got, Bruce, just looking at it with the naked eye. Shaw kicks in. Great desperation there from Smith. Knocks it out of bounds. Boundary throw in.
So if you were the video referee and you looked at that, what would you pay?
I'd stick to the goal umpire's interpretation. It was right on the line myself.
There's the kick up towards the wing. Richards did well. He's been prepared to compete. Tom mentioned he's been competing, but he had the will as soon as he came back on the ground. Stolen away. Side bottom's hand pass intercepted by Goods, but he kicks it directly to Shaw. Shaw can go short, decides to hand pass instead. Tarrant's got it. Pendlebury's on in the middle. I would have gone there. Not a very good kick, and the mark is taken by Johnson, who's been outstanding.
You mentioned Dennis Pendlebury was on in the middle, and they should have gone there because the Swans have defended the kick down the boundary all night.
So Sydney playing the percentages, and Harry O'Brien has just been so good again tonight. So let's have a look at this touch.
That's a good angle.
That's a goal.
Yeah. So last Saturday night they went up there and they didn't tonight. So Beams back to O'Brien. O'Brien has taken Sydney on all night, and Hannaby has been a very, very good player. 21 years of age, and what a final he's played tonight.
Wouldn't it be ironic, Bruce, if that last goal's important?
About to find out, Dennis. I hope it is, because it means it's going to be oh so exciting.
Well, yes, but
and it is already.
instant replay.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I do. I'm with you.
Boundary throw in. We needed it that time. Opportunity behind the back. Mumford, brilliantly done by Blair. Slapped it away. Goes and gets his own ball. Blair slips a hand pass away to side bottom. Side bottom towards the outer side. Stretching Grundy. Grundy takes the mark. Spots a man in the middle. Mumford. He's dropped it. Mumford slow to go back. Did so with courage though. Confronted by Pendlebury. Trying to break free was O'Keefe. They work it around. Skirting the perimeter. Grundy gave it to Shaw, and Shaw finds goods. He's 15-20 metres closer to goal here than his last effort, which fell about 5 metres short.
It's like death by 1,000 cuts, isn't it? They just can't deliver the knockout blow. The Swans, Goods will have another chance. This time, he's got the distance for sure. It's only the accuracy now.
Adam Goods. 3 best and fairest. A couple of Brownlows. He's been there before. Steps inside the 50, not his best effort. Hangs it out to the right. And through it goes for a minor score, increasing the lead to 22. Still plenty of time for the Magpies.
So 7 inside 50s for Sydney for 4 behinds in this quarter. Collingwood 3 inside 50s for 2 goals. So here's O'Brien. Oh, Harry!
Who's got it? Jeddah.
I'll tell you what, Jeddah plays on to Bird. Bird missed a pretty easy shot earlier on. So from set shots, I'm just trying to count. I think they're 2 goals, 7 or 8 from set shots Sydney tonight.
You reckon Bird's hard to be pumping? You've seen teammate after teammate miss shots like this, a 45-degree angle, plenty of goal open to him. Can he control the moment?
About to find out, Lee.
Yes, he can.
There's your answer.
He has kicked some very good goals this year. He has to live on the scraps on that forward line with some of the big names around him on the ball. But that was a magnificent kick. Sweetly timed, to the margin out to 28 now. And the fans of the Magpies at this ground looking stony-faced. Still time to pluck it out of the fire. He knows that. But gee, no second chances now.
The whole of Nelson Bay would have gone up there as a local product from the Central Coast. He's gone back wearing a famous number for the Swans and got the job done.
Stilton, Kelly, jangles when it runs that. All the Brownlows hitting each other. Out of the middle, Jack goes down towards half forward. Awkward bouncing footy. Taken by Tuvey, tries to get away, feeds it forward. Thomas, Goods almost got him, got the touch, insufficient. Not a good hand pass though from Thomas. Perhaps it put his mind off the job. Mumford went to ground, taken high with Smith, gets out of trouble. Brilliant smother there, diving across the boot, Collingwood. As a result, Blair gets his own ball back. Little chip pass in short. Not 15. Vasolo runs to the boundary, pulls it back, a centering kick. They've got them in there, Collingwood. Willingham, Beams. He's a good kick at goal normally too, but this one, he tugs wide right. Desperate stuff now.
Got a bit of the ball, Beams, but hasn't been able to exert a whole lot of influence on the game. He's one of those Collingwood players like Thomas, with a bit of time in space, can really kill you. He's had a 50% disposal efficiency. He just hasn't been on tonight. So, Lee, do you think that the Swans midfield has beaten the Collingwood midfield? Yeah, they have. I think in their outside run and spread, I mean, basically the clearances and the in-close work, they've just got on top as the game has gone on. Collingwood okay early.
So McVeigh down the line, and that's against the Collingwood midfield with 3 All-Australians, Beams, Swan and Pendlebury. Elliott's handball, side bottom off a step to fall forward. It was touched, you heard the call. Malcheski couldn't hold it, he got nervous. Cracker, not quite. Teddy Richards getting stronger as the game goes on. Reece Shawn might get his wish. His brother's got a premiership. He may have a chance next week. O'Keefe, Jenner held on to, mark taken by Reid. And then Reid's kick to O'Brien. And ironically, Harry, who's been so good, that kick out on the full was oh so costly.
Wellingham, Heath Shaw goes down towards half forward. Thomas just outside the 50. 78 plays 51. Short ball. Well done, Kennedy. Not sure he gets a big stat for that, but what a wonderful effort getting back, knocking it away from the leading player. The short kick then goes across the ground. Roberts-Thompson told to play on. Swan has been quiet by his lofty standards. Tries to corral him. Not a particularly good kick on the outer side. Taking a knee out there was Hanbury. Slow to get up. Meantime, side bottom misses the target.
Brave was Hanbury then to come back with the flight of the ball. The only way he was going to be able to spoil the mark was to keep his eyes firmly on the football and just take the contact, which he did.
Hanbury, 31 possessions. All he got for that was pain. Scrambled off the boot by Jolly. It was Ben Reid who got the knee in the back there unintentionally, just flying for the footy. Swan wheels out of the pack, goes long down towards full forward, 2-on-1, and the 2 prevail. And perhaps the most courageous man on the ground takes the mark. On a field of courageous men. Shaw comes wide, Bird launches himself.
So that's a different. Shaw has to keep his eyes firmly on the ball, otherwise it's an automatic free kick.
Oh, and the brothers. Reece comes tunneling across towards his brother Heath there, having a word to say. The elder speaking to his junior, and he's not happy.
Don't reckon Heath Shaw take much notice if his brother was older or younger, do you? Side bottom. Did it well. Gets it to Swan. Swan trying to create. Smothered. He's played well, sure. Some of his disposal hasn't been great. That one worked to Pike. They're running forward. Pike's going to hold it up. What a journey Pike's made, eh?
Yeah, he's been good. Been really solid.
Canadian rugby.
Not a high possession getter, but just gives you a really good contest in the air.
Well, there's been a lot of good players for the Swans, but has there been anyone better on the ground than this bloke?
No, he's been best on ground tonight.
Kicks to Goods, Kennedy does, and Goods, he's done that so well. He's taken 3 or 4 marks against the opposition, one-on-one.
Knew where the fall of the ball, got the balance, knew where the ball's going to go. Just Brown overplayed the attack on the footy.
Kennedy 30 possessions now, and Goods has had 24, Bruce.
Well, if he'd finished his work with a couple more goals, Goods, he'd be knocking on the door for the BOG, and that one is sloppy up high, and the mark taken by Mummy. And I think Sydney Town now thinks they're going to the MCG, the biggest city in Australia. You feel like they're on their way to the G. Mumford kicks the goal.
The celebrations start, you think, in earnest. Collingwood involved in a tug of war there for a while, just a couple of goals shy of what they needed to be. Brave start to the term. The Swans in the last 5 or so minutes working their way on top again.
Well, this Sydney side's only got 4 players from the 2005 Premiership team. Kirky, tell us about some of these young players, Bird, Smith, Johnson.
I think that's where the improvements come from. It hasn't come from the top liners. Those guys consistently perform. It's with that middle group, as you said, Bird, Johnson, Smith. Those guys are the ones that have really stepped up this year.
O'Keefe was magnificent there. He was going through to take a hand pass, left it behind it, and suddenly just appeared and applied a tackle. Pendlebury tried his heart out, coughs this one up. O'Keefe again just jams it on the boot, floats it inside the centre square. Pendlebury knows no other way. Still silky. Gives it back to Brown. Brown the high ball towards half forward. Elliott was in front, and it's pushed across the line by Richards. So a boundary throw in. 84 plays 51. Happy now to be on telly, I think. Pike, all of Canada, will be barracking for Sydney next week. Kicks it as far as O'Brien. Harry's away. He's been prepared to dash out of defence. Searching kick. Richards in front, got a fist to it. Beams likely to kick this one. Falling over was Wellingham. And Goods now at the other end of the ground.
Goods to Jetta. There have been 2 of the excitement machines tonight. I mean, Jetta's produced some stunning footy. Those 3 goals, the first 2 just unforgettable. Kicks to Parker, the sub, came on from Wharton. Official attendance tonight, 57,156. Hannonbury, over 30 disposals.
Talk about the midfield battle, Bruce. Often numbers don't tell the story, but when you're comparing disposals, contested possessions, clearances, Swans right on top.
LRT doing the roving and kicking long and strong. Oh. It's a different LRT.
How about that? What a good kick.
I mean, his stats are not big, but his contribution's been terrific, hasn't it?
Particularly early. I mean, from the start of the game, you got the sense that the Swans won the match-up battles. They got the match-up they wanted on Ben Reid with Roberts Thompson. They got the match-up with O'Keefe to Beams. Kennedy was able to get himself free. It's been a really good tactical game from the Swans tonight. There it is. He's got on the wrong side of Blair and
didn't back for him, didn't it, really?
It didn't back himself like Jetta to run all the way in. Thought I'll just peg it from 45.
So it seems the Magpies, well, it certainly does seem the Magpies have fallen short. Beams, Pendlebury in trouble. Diving after the football, Jude Bolton. Tough in there. Over the top goes Blair, but he's not going far. Ball falls free. Hand pass from Reid. McVeigh brilliant in the first half. Beams falling to the ground. Pendlebury. Goods a half chance. Stolen by Thomas. The veteran Johnson. Vacant goal square for Johnson. And he kicks a goal. Well done. But there's no way back now. The margin 33 points. Just a little lipstick on the pig.
Done well, Johnson, to get back into the team and play a role. Such a fine player, but that goal won't make much difference at the end of tonight now. So Nick Maxwell, who won't get the chance to play a final this year, held the cup aloft a couple of years back as a Collingwood captain, winning a premiership. They've been a great team, Collingwood. They've contended hard for the last 4 years, but they're going to have their campaign halted at the preliminary final stage. O'Brien caught, Bird got him, and a boundary throw-in.
Oh, gee.
Hats off to Harry O'Brien tonight. He's attacked the game from the absolute get-go. He's tucked the ball under his arm, tried to take some risk, bring it back in the corridor. He's certainly put his hand up to play his heart out for the Pies tonight.
And so for the big guys going, Brown wins it, Parker, and was that off Parker, and a boundary throw-in.
That midfield with Ryan O'Keefe just late in his career has gone and played as that ball-getting midfield tagger type. He's had the penalty match-up most of the night. I think they've both been really good players, but O'Keefe, 10 tackles, 8 clearances. He's been terrific.
Clever by Reid, knocking it back to a dangerous spot. Blair Shaw over the shoulder. Beams. Now off the ball. Bolton's getting a free kick against Heath Shaw. The ball had gone from the area. It was high, unbolted. It's been a good workout going to a grand final, this one.
Yep.
No doubting that. Be fitting, wouldn't it? Game number 300 if Jude can slot this one. For those doubting Thomases, this would be the icing on the cake. He's put it through, he's got two.
Terrific night. Just a fantastic night for the club and the city. Milestone game for this fella.
We got the sense he was to come off, and wouldn't be surprised there was a message from the box say, Jude, it's your 300th game, you've just kicked a goal. We're into a grand final, stay out there, absorb it all up.
Kicked a lot of goals in the last 2 years. He's only the second player in history in his 300th game to win a final. Gary Dempsey, the other in 1982 for North Melbourne against Essendon in the elimination final. So 7 players have played a final in their 300th. Bolton becomes the second to have won.
This is Elliott, goes inside the forward 50. Coming hard was Goldsack. So he's gone forward. Turned his career around, really, midway through the season when he was cast in the role of a forward. This is not a bad kick either. Just misses. So the streak is ended. And so is the run of back-to-back grand finals. And another to back if you count the draw and the replay. Ball goes towards the outer side from Malcheski. Two-fisted punch away by Jolly, close to the boundary line. It's out of bounds.
Those back-to-backs was the Tommy Hafey era, Dennis, that Collingwood last did that, those late 70s and 80s. So it's been a great run for them, but for the Swans, they're about to go to a 15th grand final. They're 4-10 in grand finals, by the way. Bird caught up from Hanbury, but Hanbury getting a little touch forward. Pendlebury, O'Brien. What an effort from O'Brien tonight. And then Blair off a step to centre half forward. Shaw belting the ball away. Cloak chasing hard. It was Malcheski actually belting, and Shaw coming from the back. So it'll be that Shaw and not the other who'll play at the MCG next Saturday. Reece, of course, played in the grand final against Lee Matthews' Brisbane Lions as a Collingwood player in 03. And now gets his chance as a Swan. And whoever they play next Saturday, they're a very big chance, this team. They are a very big chance. Beams in the pocket. Oh, that's a good kick. It's very, very late. And he's kicked a goal.
He's had a great year, Dane Beams, taking his game to another level. Luke Ball, obviously, not part of the Collingwood midfield this year. Beams has put his hand up, had an All-Australian year. Might just win the Copeland Trophy. He's been absolutely outstanding. For the Swans tonight, I mean, I've been very fortunate to be living up in here, up in Sydney this year, and watching them every week. And such a methodical team, the way they go about their structures, and a really humble team. As an opponent of the Swans, when you played against them, you always thought they played the right way. They played honest footy. They're full of good blokes. And they're right up there with a chance next Saturday, Bruce.
For sure. Been tough for Dane Beams the last fortnight. He's so close to John McCarthy. He said to Copeland he might win the Brownlow. I mean, he's had that sort of a year. That's a beautiful tap by Jolly to Pendlebury, to half forward, Wellingham and Shaw. Malcheski rode Cloak pretty well. Cloak was hard on him with a tackle. And where's that footy? It's going to be an umpire. So the last little bit of this match, Collingwood challenged early in the last quarter off the back of those 2 late goals in the third. But Swan, quick kick forward, and mark taken by Fasolo, who just hasn't been able to impose himself tonight or really through the final series. So Fasolo quickly on to it, hurrying it through, and Collingwood get another goal. So his first, and just as they did at the end of the third quarter, they kicked goals within about a minute, but this time it counts for naught. So one of the Reeds, his brother will play in a grand final just as he has. So for the families of the Shores and the Reeds, it's been an unusual night. There's Sammy's brother with Josh Kennedy, who has been so good tonight again. I guess they won't come down to the Brownlow now, so Kennedy will be watching it from up here in Sydney.
Yep. Paul, well early, well late, had an outstanding season.
So it's Sydney that'll be the first team into the 2012 grand final. The Swans on their way to a 15th grand final. In Jude Bolton's 300.